Good evening guys, it's good afternoon, it's 4:25 p.m. Today is September 29th, day before month end, and same statement, right? No bias, but yesterday we had a trend day up, right? So if you read it, so this is for the members though, okay? So YouTube folks, you don't know about these things who are not a member, right? But in Discord yesterday at 3:46 p.m. or 3:30 p.m. I put a note there. The notes were stating that hold on. So this was the note. So I'm putting this note here from Discord. So before I walk you through it, you should know that this is what I'm thinking. Going into today, right? This was yesterday, 3:24 p.m. right? So here it says, guys, remember when ES hit this, right? So you can read through these things, right? All these things, okay? And it is unlikely that it will continue to move higher without testing today's Globex low, which is today's miss. Yesterday's Globex low was 144 in NQ, okay? So that was like not a good low. It requires a retest, okay, going into today or in future. That was the idea. Then this one also, right? So I said also the way went up, right? It can come down within 1.5 days, straight down. That is what essentially happened. Not even 1.5 day. Yeah, it's basically within 1 day. Then I said, these are the scenarios that I was thinking yesterday, that it has to do hold about this for buyers, right? And if it goes below it, some sellers would be active, right? And then we have to think about straight down scenario if that happens, right? So we have to wait for overnight, but this is like before overnight I wrote it, right? And also I said tomorrow at the opening few minutes, I'm not expecting a chop. So last 3 days, if you go back and check, in the morning it was choppy environment, but I said yesterday that today I'm not expecting a chop, right? What does that mean? That means if I see something right off the open, I will take the trade. Why? Because it could be a move, right? Because I'm not expecting a chop, right? So you can use that idea that way too, right? That's why I took the morning short at 92, in ES and NQ 383 or so, that was our levels too anyway. So just remember these things, okay? So and then I'm going to again repeat the same thing for Mboxwave folks, later part in that video. So in this video, so now overall sellers are in control. That's the one thing you have to keep in mind, right? That's why I'm repeating every single day from last 1 week the same statement, that overall sellers are in control, right? So today it can be all about yesterday's trend day up and whether the price is going to follow through or fail to follow through, right? So, and these are the areas, okay? And then we have also preferred levels and all this thing, correct? And then this is the similar statement that I want buyers to keep it above this, on this area. Otherwise sellers will be active. So the moment price open where right here, right? It already below this became the Globex high. So that's the first warning sign for buyers. Then it opened right here. That was the second key area, right? Below sellers will be active. So it opened here, hesitated, went down, I shorted it. Simple, because I was not expecting a chop, right? And you guys already know from our pre-market voice in Discord that this area I talked about it, right? 91 I said, and I think 381 in NQ I said to watch, right? So and then NQ, right? So this 3 days exchange area was 381 area, and that's why I took the short. And 350 360 was our good level, right? So you already know what was that level is for, and price went below it, good to go, right? Dream number, this became the high of the day today, 403, very powerful number again, right? So this dream number response right of the open and price going through 381 gave me a trade and clue, and then combined with I'm not expecting a chop idea, I shorted it. Now you can understand why I took the short, right? So there are pieces of the puzzles I'm giving you here and there, but now your job is to combine it, look at jointly. So That's why this short came. This was a dream number, right? This was our key rotational area, and that's where I took the short, right? And then ES also same thing, correct? And this was here, right? So this was a rotational area, right? So we know that something can happen. That is what we discussed, right up the open. So I just bet on short side, okay? Considering this area became the Globex high, right? And NQ, this area 550, 560 also became a Globex high, right? All this thing. So there was a story going on, So, and then since I had to go out, right, I took a profit here somewhere in the middle, a few points basically, and then I also took a profit here also, right? And then I went outside. And then when I came back, price was already down, right? It was right here, somewhere here. Already reached this area, right? So before leaving, I also give you the level in Discord that 63 is important. If it goes below 63, more sellers, right? And we already know Globex low and high are important. That is what I also wrote it, I think in Discord, right? And in pre-market note that Globex high and lows are important today, right? Which is this, and lows, Globex low was this, right? So the moment you see this, in pre-market bounce from it, right? We talked about the importance of 74 in pre-market, right? And then when you see this price slice through it, that was your trade right there, because these levels are important. If you slice through it, at least it's gonna go to 63, right? So that would be the trade. You took a profit here, and then 63 was also important. So on the way back up here, 63 you can short, because by the time internals were liquidation kind, right? And price, and at that point price was telling you it's a complete reversal of yesterday's up move. That means there is a more room to go down, right? Because NQ was supposed to come here, right? And by the time NQ was here, so it has a room to go down, right? So here I talked about Fibonacci also, right? Like once in a while I talk about those Fib levels also, right? And so that's why you should take a short here, based on the Fib, whatever is going on, all this thing, below yesterday's low here, right? Pull back. So that's why combining with ES, you can short at 63 and here, right there. Or if you are worried about yesterday's low, right? So this low is a poor low, because ideally this area that they are targeting, right? Yesterday they couldn't do it because of 10-day up. But today, the moment price came down like this, most likely it's gonna go there, right? So it is going to defend this low, sellers, right? So that's why you take the short, target this area. I also talked about importance of 170, 192 area, right? Why there are buyers there, right? I gave you the hint also from yesterday's price, based on the yesterday's early morning price action, right? I'm not gonna give you all this information, everything here, right? But I already gave you in Discord why. And the similar area in ES was 25.28, right? So 170 held it here because of those previous days buyers, right? And so which is meaningful, which is fine, right? Doesn't mean you have to go long here. Remember, all the structure is changed now. So there is no long. You are not supposed to take longs, but instead you are only supposed to take shorts, right? But after looking at this much down move straight off the open, right? You cannot short right here at the tail end at this support. You have to wait for a price to like go higher crazily, something like that, like scary move where you will think, man, now it's gonna go higher. That's the time you short it, so because of this down move, right? So when it went back to yesterday's low, this was a good area. Why? Because it was yesterday's low, right? And price yet to come to 144. It is unlikely that yesterday it came all the way up to this, day before all the way up to this, and then today all the way up to this, and not take this area, right? 3 days in a row. And especially after looking at this liquidation internals kind, look at NQ's AD minus 100 entire day. Most likely it will come here. So when you see this, you got lucky. Same time, ES you can see it poke above 63, but then you have two VWAPs right here, right? Intraday VWAP and then 24-hour VWAP, right? And it was close to this 73. Look at this. Remember 73? We talked about it. So I took this short. I did not trade at this. I only traded this up to this, right? And then I was out. By the time I came down, 63 was too late for me to short, so I waited. You know, I even thought about shorting it here also, right? But I said, you know what, let it poke higher a little bit. You know, if I get lucky and the price goes higher, you know, then I'll take a short, right? So I had a limit order sitting at 71, actually 2 points ahead of it, right at this VWAP, you know, a little bit above it. And here also, you know, 265 actually. NQ is like to the dot, you know. And then they got filled, both of them, you know? And then I held it. But so yesterday I did not trade it the trend day up. Remember, I also said that I'm not gonna trade it even though it's a trend day up, right? So I preserve my capital and I utilize that capital today, you know. So because I was going with the short-term direction, you know. Yesterday it was like going against it completely, and that's why I let it go. So here, you know, that was a short in both of them together, right? And then confirmation wise, let's say if you're scared of this up move, and it may go higher, who knows, right? And you can go up to this, right? But you have to short it again here then, right? Because look at internals, they were liquidation kind entire day, right? So but anyway, let's say if you don't want to short here, somehow let's say you got scared because price is now trading above preferred buyers area at this point, right? Fine, you wait for a confirmation, right? How do you find the confirmation? Draw a trend line then, right? Simple, basic stuff, right? Or wait for this level to be taken out, right? That means, say this here, this level became a support, right? This level became a support. So wait for a price to go below both and then you short, right? Or you can use a trend line like this. Simple, right? So in either case, see here also break of trend line, and it went below this level, right? You short right there, right? So even though you wait for a short, so if you don't want to go with the flow, fine, wait for a pullback and then short. See that? Short right here. NQ, same thing. You know 192 is important, 170 is important. See 70 already provided balance here, right? And then bounce. 70 story is over. 192 also here. See here provided a longs, right? Now if price comes back down like second, third time, it's not gonna hold it. So here it's damn thing still hold it, right? Fine, then let it go higher. But in that process it broke this trend line, right? So now when you see price going again below, most likely it's gonna go through it and touch here, right? But instead it again provided a bounce, fine. Then again it held this as a resistance, right? You short and target this lower, you know, 144 at least, right? But ES has a room to go up to here, so you can hold it NQ and then you bail out, you know? So that's the story today, you know. So it was a very good day today, you know. Like right after the open, we know sellers are there. So if you took a long, your fault, you know. You should not be taking a long after looking at this. And I only talked about sellers at that point. Remember I said below 73 sellers, right? In Discord there was a comment there. I clearly wrote it in the morning that 73 below, 63 or 73, either one, you know, that sellers are there, you know. So below that area you should not be going long in ES, and NQ also same thing, you know, because this was the target. See now tomorrow I'm not going to write today anything in Discord for tomorrow's price action, you know. I'm not going to write anything, I'm not going to guess anything, you know. We will completely rely on overnight price action for today's overnight price action for tomorrow, and then we'll see, you know. And most likely I may take a day off tomorrow also, you know, but we'll see how it goes, you know. I'll let you know in the morning voice, you know. Now let's talk about Mboxwave. I'm going to cover NQ today, you know, as usual. So okay, so this is NQ, right? I would suggest today you watch the previous part of this video, you know. It's my regular video, our previous part of this video, you know. Don't just start from here, you know, because it will give you the important information, you know, going into the day. It's a context, right? So it's good to know the context today, because especially when price is after having a trend day up, like crazy up day yesterday, right? Every support buyer spot it, right? So and then today you see complete opposite reversal, right? So that's why you need to know the context, you know, and then you look at the Mboxwave, okay? But anyway, so if you already watched the previous portion of this video, you already know about this thing which I covered it earlier. But if you do not want to watch that video for some reason, I don't know why, you should not be watching it. But let's say if you don't want to watch it and you're only interested in Mboxwave, then I'm again putting this here so you can read it. This will give you a mini context, and here it talks about 560, 550 level, right? as important area for buyers to hold above, and I was expecting if it doesn't hold, then I'm expecting a straight down move either after that point or within 1.5 days, right? And also I'm not expecting any chop like the last 3 days in the opening. That means I'm expecting some kind of move of the open. Okay, so remember all these things, and just read through it, and then now I'm going to cover this. So this is what that 550 560 area, so at least now you know why I had a line there, right? So now you know this area turned as a resistance in the overnight. Instead of being a support, it turned into resistance. So that was the first clue for selling, for sellers and against buyers. Okay, now so let's draw levels, right? So this is important pretty much, right? This area, because it is holding in the overnight, right? And we know these are the sellers area. So let's move forward quickly, right? So when now we are moving forward, so look at this breakdown below this support, right? And it came with the volume, a good size volume, correct? So at least we know now this area can act as a resistance, and which it did here, right? And then now let's move forward. Then we saw this price going against this area, right, above this area, right? So now I would say, what, this area doesn't serve me any purpose here, right? Because it didn't hold it, right? So this is the only resistance I have, and maybe this is my new support then, probably, right? So, and there was some buying here also, right? And then this buying too. So fine, let buyers take out this area and I'm good, right? So what happened? Effort, no result, I would say here, right? ENR, correct? Right here, right? And then price came down again with the volume here. See that histogram selling? And look at this also. And look at this, right? And it sliced through this support. So now I would say, this support can act as a resistance, or it's not a valid support because it's a poor support. Price didn't do anything, right? So then let's move forward, right? Now let's move forward like this, right? So, and then this area acted as a resistance, by the way, correct? And then price, so it's a valid area. So this is valid area, and then price went down, right? And then look at the pace here, right? Look at the selling here, correct? And then we had an immediately buying came somehow from this area, right? So let's draw a line here. Good amount of buying, right? And then price went higher and higher. Everything is good, right? Like looks like buyers wants to go to moon, right? But then what happened? Again, slice through it, right? So let's remove all these lines, correct? And then what happened? This area, remember this level? Okay, so now let's draw a level here, right? Because it acted as a resistance. See a lot of selling. So what do you see so far, right? So far you are seeing a lot of selling going on, and now we have 3 levels of selling, correct? So why, right? So let's go back and see. Yesterday was a trend day up, right? Why the hell? Where is the buyers gone, right? Where are they gone? Are they gone? So that's why you need to read that context, the previous part of this video. Now one more thing you noticed here, see that? See, yesterday was a trend day up like this, right? This is entire yesterday, correct? So you can see these things like a very strong up day, right? Every pullback buyers bought it, right? Then what do you see here in histogram? Lots of buying, correct? So look at this. The max here was what? 5,000 something, right? Look at here, the max here of the opening, 8,400, greater than this, correct? Look at the closing, 12,000, right? It was a trend day up. Do you want to see this higher or this higher? General view, right? So at least something is up. This day something is funky going on, here, because of this. See that? Ideally it would be opposite, right? You want to see this up and this up, right? Because it's a trend day up. So that is something, I would say something weird going on here, right? So that's a hint. you can get, you know. And then once you get that hint that something is up, and now you combine with this 3 levels of selling, you know, then you know whatever happened there, something fake move, up move, you know, and selling is going on. Most likely day is going to reverse, you know. So let's move forward, right? Here I'm going to like fast forward it, and then this area went through it again, right? And then somebody damn thing again bought it here. So let's put this thing here. Okay, so this is the area, and then price sliced through this area and then even acted as a support here, right? So I'm going to keep this line here, you know, because it acted as a support also, and then price sliced through it. So actually it doesn't serve any purpose actually, you know what? So let's remove it, right? So now we have 1 and 2, right, and these 3 levels to deal with, right? But overall we had a selling going on, right? That's the clue. And then look at this also, right, again, and then let's move forward, right? So now we have this and this, right? In between all garbage pretty much, I would say, you know. And then let's see what happened after 8:30. Okay, so there was a news at 8:30, right? And then thing again sliced through it, right? And then immediately went up, right? So, and it was holding this area, so it's like a fake breakdown here, right? But then you can see these things, right? Again, more volume to the downside, right? So overall, so far up to this point, there has been selling going on, right? And that selling came right from here, this area, center point, you know, of this pretty much, right? Roughly here, right? So we have this 4 level of selling going on, right? And this one is kind of, you know, failed breakdown or something, but we'll see how it goes, you know. So at least this point. Now let's move 9 o'clock, right, before open. So hold on, so 1 minute time frame. So this is 9:26, right? So right before the open it was hovering around here, correct? So now what are we gonna do of the open? Obviously you're not gonna buy it. I'm not going to buy it, right? Because now you know the context, you know the overnight price action, you know these levels, right? So at least 1 and 2, price has to go above these 2 levels for me to buy, or it has to go down below this level for me to sell, correct? Simple. So let's see what happens, right? And this was also a low, you know, like Globex low something, right? So let's keep a line there and then see what happens, right? So this area was a like failed breakdown, right? So it is acting as a support. So let's see what happens here. If price comes here, then what happens? If price slices through it, that's a short for me. If price holds it, take out this area and, you know, and probably this area, you know, or maybe this high, then I can play long from here to here, you know, and then more longs above that area if it holds it, you know, above it. So let's see. At least we have this much selling going on, right? So let's talk about of the open, what happened. So of the open, you know, price open right here, right, in the middle somewhere, right? And then it did ping pong, right? And then boom, right, it sliced through this area first, right? But we had to deal with this low also. So somebody bought it at this low, you know, makes sense, fine, you know, they want to buy it. Who are those buyers? Poor buyers from yesterday. Those whoever missed yesterday's 10-day up, they are thinking, man, price is gapping down, this is a good opportunity to buy at the Globex low, price will go shoot higher, you know, and I will hold it till the moon, you know. But once we are reading these things, right, you're not gonna go long here, right? We're not. Instead we should look for short here, right? But let's say because of this Globex low, you know, we can't go short right here, right? But then look at this, see, up move, down move, again same histogram volume with more pace. So this is actually short here, right into this area, you know, right here, instead of going long here, right? And you can see it, see, that was your short right there, because you have this selling also came from this algo also, right? And look at this, see, imbalance, right? So this is imbalance, correct? So that's a plus point, right? Oh, sorry, man, two imbalances, 1 2, right? Because supposed to be up, right? Up candle. So this was a short, right? And now you pray that if it goes through these things, you will add more, and target lower. There you go, you add more, target lower. Look at this, see that? So everything is good. Like you remember yesterday we covered Russell. Today NQ was the same boat. Now Russell, you should not touch it today. Why? Because overall Russell did not get a chance yesterday to come back to those support. Remember yesterday he didn't come to those support and just up. So today Russell can come down to those support then, and if it does, it's hard to short against them, right? Because those buyers are technically valid. So that's why you don't short Russell today, or don't do anything in Russell today, until it goes through it. And you can see it today. If you see it Russell, it basically held those support. Go back and check my yesterday's Mboxwave video. You will see it, those lines, and Russell held those lines today, those support. So that's why there is no trade in Russell today. But NQ, fresh thing, right? So now same boat. Everything is lining up, right? Now it is up to you how long you wanna hold it. If you have a levels, then yes, you can follow that level, take a profit, all this thing, right? If you don't have a level, then then I don't know, right? Then you have to just draw it in real time. I'm not gonna walk you through all these things now, right? That you can short here and here, all these things, right? Because it's a blind short, and I don't like to do blind short without levels, right? Since I'm not talking about my levels here, I cannot give you more guideline where to short, right? Like 100% of the Mboxwave. That is, I'm not gonna do it, right? So I need a levels first, and then I want to see Mbox acting around it, showing me something, then I can short, right? Otherwise you can go with the algo, this double algo, and you can short here, right? Right here. But then you will run to the chop. See, like this. See, even though if you shorted double algo here, you didn't achieve anything. See, because it's a poor short. Why? It's a tail end short, regardless of the algo. I don't care. It's a tail end short. So you have to wait for a proper pullback. So anyway, this was a trade. So I have pretty much covered everything, right? I gave you the morning trades, right? So now the level wise, right? So where did I take the short, right? If you have a question, then I would say I took the short right here. This is 830. Where is the 931? My short was right at the open, right here. Why? Because this one was my favorite dream number. This area, that was my dream number, very powerful number. And this support was my support, my very key support. So these are the only two levels. So I named it the dream number and hunting level. Those are the only levels. Are the super good levels. If I have a choice, I can only trade these two levels every day. And I can ignore all other levels, right? So today, what happened? This became a support in the overnight, right? And then it sliced through it, and it started from dream number, the down move, right? And this one was also my level. That was another powerful level, this one. So it sliced through all three levels, man, good to go, good to go pretty much. And then that's it. Another one of my level was, if you want to know, that blind shorting is, it's not good. Why? Because of this 170 was my level. See, and I knew there were buyers there, sitting there, just waiting, and that's why you see this. See, so by looking at this double algo, I wouldn't short here because I know this is a buyer's level. So instead I should look for long here if I want to, right? So and you can see it, there is a case for the long too. 223, right? 48, 60, divergence. See, so many people wants to go always counter, right? This is the opportunity if you know the levels, where the buyers are sitting, right? So this is your opportunity to go long right here, based on this divergence back to this, at least this double algo top, or maybe this, right? This was also my level, by the way, 229, which was right here. See, and you can see it, all this level being played out, right? So that's how it is, and that'll be all for today.